Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, the first one, it comes from a translation that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. The message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nanshi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I just want to help all the men, especially those men that are not South African. If you see a South African woman speaking in your native language, like me, I am a Shona speaking guy who is staying here in Johannesburg. I helped this other woman to build a mansion. I stay in a Mukuku, but I have a mansion that I built in Midrand. If you see a South African woman speaking with you in broken Shona, my brother, run, just like what they say, Murife, run and do not even stop, because she is a weapon of mass destruction that has been formed against you, and the more that you tolerate her when she is speaking with you in broken Shona, you are not going to win, Baba. You are going to fail, and you will never succeed against a South African woman. This is my own story of how I dumped my own wife and how I ended up building a mansion in Midrand, and now I am suffering from high blood pressure because of the money that I used on that woman. If I was a rich man, I would say that I will recover, but this was the hard-earned money that I was getting that helped that woman to build a beautiful house, and I can't even get close to that house anymore. So when I came to South Africa, the first time around, I came to South Africa and I started staying in Musina. I was working for this other Chinaman. That man, he used to rob us quite a lot. From the very first day when I started to work for that Chinaman, I thought that he was a good guy, because when we started working, he offered us food. So the other people that were already working for him, when it was tea time at around 9 a.m., when the food was offered to us, they just ignored and they ate from their lunch boxes the food that they had. As for me, as someone that was coming from a place of hunger, I then said South Africa is good. There was a loaf of bread, there was margarine, there was pollen, there was even peanut butter and jam, and I put everything and I ate almost the entire loaf of bread. I was so excited. Even to work, it was hard because of the way that I was full. So after that, then it was lunchtime. There was pap that was said to have been bought from this other spa that was close to where we were working. So I then took the pap and I ate, but it surprised me that the seniors that had already been working for that Chinaman, they were just ignoring all of that good food. This was like manna from heaven that God had given to me. Come knock off time, it was around 5 p.m. So this Chinaman will give you money each and every day. We then went to his office. When we went to his office, that was when it was my turn. I was given 6 rand 50, and I was surprised the whole day why I had been given 6 rand 50, yet he had told us that per day you work for 100 rand. And I said, this money is short, it's just 5 rand, 1 rand coin and a 50 cent. And then he said, you ate my food, I gave you bread, I gave you everything, you ate. And he had written down everything. I learned my lesson. I worked for that China guy for 1 more week. When I saw that I had enough money, I then moved from Messina and I came to Johannesburg, the beginning of my problems. When I came to Johannesburg, I started to work for this other Nigerian man who had a scrap yard. So this man, he also had a panel beating shop. He is the one that taught me everything that I know about panel beating. So this Nigerian guy, he used to handle hot South Africans. You know, there are those hot South Africans that you usually see on Instagram. those were the girls that he used to date. That guy was very clever. He would use cars that did not even belong to him, that belonged to customers, because usually the cars that we used to panel beat, they were your expensive German cars, and he had clients that were really rich. So most of the women, they loved him. Since I was in that environment where I would see Nigerians with all of those beautiful South Africans, I thought that since these South African women would cry when those Nigerian guys would dump them, and they would dump them in the most cruel way. You would see a beautiful South African woman with her body shaped like an onion, and yet a Nigerian guy would be telling her that I don't love you anymore, and that girl would start to cry. I would even sit down because I would be feeling weak, not understanding why would a man do such a thing to such a beautiful creature that is not even allowed to step outside of her parents' house. So this will break my heart. I ended up trying to heal one such South African woman who had been dating the Nigerian guy. So one day she came, it was in the evening. She was heartbroken. The Nigerian guy had gone on a vacation with her big sister. Can you imagine? So she thought that maybe it was all just a prank. She came to the garage and she found me because I was the security and I was also working during the day. So I heard that there was someone that was crying by the gate. And then I walked to the gate and I heard that there was someone that was there. I opened the gate and oh my God, her radiance hit me same time that I had an erection because of the way that she was crying. She was wearing a beautiful bum short with a small t-shirt that did not cover her entire stomach, and she had a beautiful ring on a belly button. That was all that I see. Even when she was crying, she cried in the most romantic, sexiest way. The voice that she was using, it was so beautiful. She then asked me where my boss was. I then told her that my boss, of course, had gone on a vacation to Dubai. I did not know whom he had gone with. She then told me that she was ready to commit suicide. And I said, no, why would you want to do that? She then started to cry and she told me how much that Nigerian guy had broken her heart. I then said, come, let us sit down. I was already smiling because I knew that this was the time that the Lord had created for me in order for me to be able to taste my first South African woman, even though I had slept with some before, but never had I ever slept with such a beautiful one. This was like the cherry on top of the cream or the cake, whatever they say in English. I then managed to bribe her so that she can come into the room which I used. While she was sitting on a chair, I was sleeping on the bed. We kept on talking, but I could not stop myself from looking at her beautiful body. The way that she was yellow, it was as if she was painted with the color yellow mixed with orange. God had taken his time to create such a beautiful woman. That was when I told her that I was willing to be her punching bag. She then looked at me and she said, really? And I said, yes, you can continue dating your Nigerian boyfriend and then I can become your punching bag. Like now, since he has broken your heart, you can come to me and you can hurt me as much as you want. In fact, you can even take a butcher's knife and you can cut my heart into several pieces, but I'll stitch it back together so that you can do it over and over again. And she was, no, that is so sweet. She then came and she sat right next to me. One thing led to another. We ended up sleeping together. She then told me that she was used to be given money by her Nigerian boyfriend. So what was I going to do? She told me that I was supposed to pull up my socks. I said, that one, my queen, I will do it for you. So this is how I started hustling and ended up opening my small shop. Whenever my boss was not around. If a customer will come maybe with a damaged fender, then I would speak with that customer. Instead of fixing it right then, I would tell the man to come back later in the evening. And because I would have told that I would give him a less price at the quotation, most of the people would come at night. I would use my boss's tools, and then I would fix whatever that has to be fixed. Early in the morning, I would then call my beautiful girlfriend so that she can come and she collect the money. I later found a place where I started to do my own panel beating. That was the time that God had appointed for me in South Africa to become a rich man. But that time it passed me whilst I was busy fixing and making sure that this woman was always happy at all the times. Yet she was even embarrassed to walk with me. But I don't know, maybe she was using love potions on me, because when we would walk in town, hey, let me love Brother Nashim, she would walk in front of me, and if I would try to catch up with him, she will increase the pace. It was as if we would be chasing each other. She would only wait for me at the till. I remember the day when we went to the mall. You know, when you are a hustler, sometimes you do not get the chance to go into different shops to buy clothes, this and that. So she just called me and she was like, baby, I don't have any food, this and that. Please, can you make a plan for me? Let us meet at the mall. I said, okay, my love, I am coming. So I was busy priming this other car. So all that I did was to wash, my hands, and to just wash my face, because in our country, the rule that we have in Zimbabwe is that a man's handsomeness can only be seen with the weight of his wallet. A man does not have to wear expensive clothes to prove that he is rich. So it is different cultures here in South Africa. Here, it does not matter if your wallet is heavy or not. They want to see you, the outside you. So I did not know that my girlfriend, she was embarrassed to be with me. She did not want people to see her with me, but still she wanted my money. So I then rushed to the mall. And when I arrived at the mall, she was already waiting for me at entrance number 3. I just saw that the way that she looked at me from head to toes almost 7 times, she kept on doing that, and she started walking. And I said, "Hi, Owen, why are you not waiting for me?" She did not even answer. She kept on walking until we went into Pick and Pay. When we went into Pick and Pay, she had grabbed her trolley already and she was busy picking up the groceries, and I was following behind her as if I was a thief trying to steal something from her. Even if I would speak with him, she would just look at me and she would give me that eye that you are making too much noise. So she only waited for me by the till. That was when she waited and she was like, "Baby, it's time for us to pay." But it was me who paid. The same thing happened when we returned back to the parking lot. She was way in front of me. I nearly slipped when I was trying to catch up with him because I was wearing a safety shoe that had finished grip. It was an old safety shoe. She waited for me by the car that I was driving. Then I took her to the place. But I was dating a beautiful woman that I was afraid to confront. So I did not want problems in our relationship. So when I told him that there was this other journalist from SABC who had brought his car to me and he wanted me to fix the car, and this man, he had money, and then that was when she told me about us putting all the money into her account, even creating pay slips because she wanted to buy a house. I then said, okay, it's fine. She was already working at that time. So she said she wanted to boost a credit profile. I said, okay, cool. There is no problem. So I used to get customers. I was almost a millionaire at that time because that was when companies like SMDs came out, we approached those companies so that when people buy their cars, they can also refer them to us as panel beaters. And we used to get a lot of customers. Even that journalist, he had gone to buy a car that had been involved in an accident, and he was given a referral by that company. So we were making money during those days as panel beaters. Like, business was booming of repairing cars, and she knew that the money that I was making, it was quite a lot. So each and every time I would deposit the money into her account, and at the end of the month, even though the money will return back to me, I would give her a salary. Within 6 months, she told me that she had gotten an offer at Midrand. There was a house that she wanted. We then went there. She was all over me. Honey, this house is going to be beautiful. This is where we are going to raise our kids. Njani. Yo, South African women, I fear you. So at that time, I was all excited, and I had never even returned back home during those years because South Africa was treating me really nice. And having this beautiful woman now telling me that she was ready to give me kids, it just made me to forget even who I was. And then we started with the process, and after the house was in her name, she then told me that she wanted to renovate. She renovated that house. She has a big mansion that she rents out, and I'm sure that she makes a lot of money. She ended up buying another house as well in Midrand. So this is the business that she is doing. That woman, I will never forget what she did to me. So this is why I have come with my own confession. My confession is not about rituals or anything, but it is about me trying to warn other men out there, especially if you are a foreigner. If you hear a South African woman that is speaking in your own language, run away as fast as you can. Don't even look back. Otherwise, you'll end up being like Lot's wife. The moment that you turn back to look at a South African woman who is trying to seduce you, you will become a pillar of salt, my brother. What I lost, I will never recover. I have my friends, the ones that were working with me when we were working for that Nigerian guy, they ended up buying trucks. There was one from Rishavane who owns a bus right now, but we were working together. As for me, I ended up building a mansion. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section. Tell me what you think about his confession. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us meet again in the following episode.